So there we go. Sure, how you are. Download it for you.
I'm not gonna be here tomorrow, so I'm gonna hit you.
Yeah, that's all right. You did the last grade yesterday.
Give your best, man.
I did good though, right?
See you next time.
You didn't do anything.
I'll be here. I'll be around, by the way. Tomorrow I'll be here, so you can. Pretty well. 2 minutes, 7 minutes. Okay. All right. Welcome everybody to the last debate that's happening here at for the TOEFL class. I've got a ballot for the few people that are here. Let's see. All citizens who do not vote should pay a fine. There's a penalty for not voting. Ooh, controversial. So, this team over here is arguing yes, the government should impose a fine on all citizens who do not vote. As it is now, the United States doesn't penalize anyone for voting. You have the freedom to vote or not vote, right? But now they're going to argue for that change. This team over here is arguing that they're not saying that voting is bad. All right, I say that's not the position they're making. It's that citizens who do not vote should pay a fine. They disagree that a fine should be implemented on people who choose not to vote at all, etc. Okay. So here's, tell you what, if you don't mind passing these around to everybody, this is a survey. And if you, okay, so as we normally do. So coming up to the front of the stage as normal, Ms. Marley, give her a warm welcome, all right? Woo, woo, woo.
Fine.
It's all yours.
You're gonna do great.
The professor was very clear with the topic, so we are totally agreed with this debate, okay? Every person needs to examine the negative consequences of not casting your vote. No matter which country. In this case, we are talking about the United States, but other countries have the same issue. Every citizen should be played in every votation election, presidential, Congress, whatever type of election. This act is not mandatory in the United States, but should be, because it's a very serious duty and is our responsibility, okay? The citizens in any country cannot just sit down and then let others decide for us. The number of people who vote influence the results in the election. For us, not voting is wrong. For our group, is wrong. You cannot be lazy people who do not vote should pay a fee. People who don't vote pay a fee. Important, thank you. It's a very music. Electors who fail to vote at a state election and do not provide a valid and sufficient reason for such a failure will be pay a fine. If you are sick or have a very difficult possibility to go an election place, you need to present an excuse, a valid excuse, the why you don't vote this day. The penalty for first-time offenders may be $20. If the people can incur in the same problem the next time, pay more. Because people always care about money. Okay, if I tell you, you are going to pay now 20, but the next time you pay 50, you're not thinking about it, no? So, people who do not take this very serious may be punished. Because when your result is ready, the population is not satisfied with the results because the percentage of the population to go to vote was very low. When you vote, you make your country develop. And one vote can change the result of maybe our life, depending on the president, of the people who are going to work in the government. Countries such as Argentina, Australia, Brazil already have a fee for people who don't vote. So why we don't establish this in the United States? Thinking about it. This is okay. No, wait.
Wait.
No, you can wait.
No, you can come in.
It's totally up to you. You're welcome to. You can say you say it for later. That's fine. That's
No,
fine.
you come.
No.
You guys finish, then we'll come.
No, you guys can go now.
Quite all right. Quite all right. He's electing to not do using the rest of the time. That's quite all right. It's your choice. All right, coming up to the big stage. This side, yeah. Give him a hand. Give him some warm applause. All right. Arguing no, there should not be a fee. All right. And anytime you want, sir. Go ahead. Yeah.
So I disagree with the. I don't disagree with like people should vote. People should vote, but I disagree with the fact that they should pay a fees if they decide that they don't want to vote. Like if we live in a democracy, and the most important rule is that every person has each own rights, and he has the choice to vote or not to vote. So if we introduce the fines, it would be like we might as well live in a dictatorship. Another thing is you mentioned countries like Australia. Australia has 45% of their voters are donkey voters, which is could you show up the picture so I could explain them better. Donkey voters are voters who don't care about voting; they just go and vote. So
I'm trying to get it.
yeah. So this is what Australians do is they have this paper and they have a ranking order. So they have to rank each person from 1 to 7. And what donkey voters usually do is they just rank it as it is, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there are 45% of people who do that. So if that much amount of people do that, you would see someone who's unfair and winning that election, and you don't want that. In order to increase the voters, you might well start a campaign where you make awareness to people that voting is very important and it could help you in future, instead of taking away their money by telling them to pay fine. Another thing you mentioned was giving them $20 fees. Rich people wouldn't care about $20. It's a penny for them. They would be like, yeah, take that $20. I don't want to vote, because they don't have time to vote. So I mentioned those things, and also that government should also reprioritize their choices by like investing their money into people who need it instead of taking away from them. So that's my point.
Okay. You still got 4 minutes left if you want to use it.
If anyone want to use it, no.
You're welcome to.
Yeah.
You're welcome to use talk for 4 minutes if you want to.
You want to go?
Yeah. Cool. All right. Okay. All right.
I want to add to one of the points of my classmate, that citizens have the right not to vote. It also causes the results to be unjust. If people are fined, more will come to vote, which can lead to many uninformed voters voting. Uninformed voters are more easily persuaded by opinionated advertisement and people, which can lead to an unqualified or unjust candidate be put into offices. It will not benefit countries to fine citizens for no voting. I think there should not be a fine, because I think forcing citizens to vote is only something you will do to create the illusion of legitimacy for the completely uninspired candidates that end up winning with a weak popularity of the voting electorate. When people do not vote, they are communicating with power also. When people do not vote, then it is a signal to those in power that they are in danger. Sometimes not voting is voting by behavior in a democracy. The right of the people is to have their individual voice heard, and I believe no voting is a way that you actually are showing or you are putting your voice because it's an expression also when you are not voting to show their dissatisfaction. It is more powerful not than vote being forced to vote. And what about homeless people? As you said, you have to pay $20 or $40. What about the people in prison? What about the homeless? How they are going to pay that fine?
That's it. Okay, we'll save the rest for later. All right, good. Give her a hand. Yeah. Ooh, interesting. Everybody's both sides have done their a lot of research on it, and I'm really excited. Now we're going to listen to the counter arguments. Mr. Dilly will probably bring forth his. I'll give you about a minute to think about it because I usually do that with other people, so I'll let you do it.
So now we have the counter.
Right, let them do 5 minutes, and you all have 5 minutes. It's an interesting point. You had the
She did the homeless.
Not
At the beginning,
The last one is like homeless and she put that
I was
prison.
I'm agreeing with that point, like, fine, but then I was reading, what about the homeless?
I mean, the
But
main
the
point
prisoners
of
can
it
vote.
is fine is
And
to
homeless
enforce
is
the voters. But if you
Because they don't have
introduce
ID.
a fine, there are a lot of consequences to face.
there's a lot of uninformed voters.
Forcing
And
and
some
uninformed
people, like the donkey voters, I mean,
Yeah, maybe later you can explain what that means. That's not really an idea to me.
And I learned that Argentina had that law for
there are many countries who have volunteering voters voting. They have a lot of number of people go there, but half of them just vote for the sake of voting.
Yeah.
to avoid
Just to avoid the fees. So,
Okay, cool. 5 minutes. Interesting point, y'all. All right, 5 minutes, and anytime you want to start, go right ahead.
Hello everyone.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
Good point.
Yeah.
She said that maybe homeless and people.
That's fine.
Doing great.
Hello everyone. So how are you? Hope so everyone is doing fine. So let me ask you a question. What do you think about the current government? Are you fine with them or are you still complaining about them?
I'm fine with them.
You're fine with them, but there are most of the people, they are complaining about the government.
Yeah.
And you know the reason why?
Yeah.
It's just because of those lazy people who don't go for vote.
And
Right.
do you know how many?
I'm not even. Later on, later. That's good.
It's all it's like if we all people who don't value voting and doesn't vote, okay? Then we start complaining about this, and then but at this time we already missed the vote, okay? So voting is one of the democracy's most fundamental rights and duties. Everybody has to right to vote, as my friend says. Everybody has right to vote. They also have a right not to vote. I agree. But it becomes a problem when nobody, like with some people if they don't vote, okay? And even a single vote can create a big problem. Let's say there are two parties and okay, I'll give you an example of the previous election was between, it was a great fight between Hillary Clinton and Mr. Trump, okay? And we thought like, okay, the Hillary, because she was going on the top. And then suddenly we got a result that Trump won. Why? It may be because of some people who have not went to vote. It might be that reason. Okay? That's the reason I believe that people should be fined if they don't vote. And basically, I would say first of all for the seriousness, because it's a human mentality that if something is going from their pocket, they are willing to do it. Let's say if I charge you $20, and if I have that in my mind that okay, I'll be fined $20, I'll make sure that I'll go and vote. That is for sure. Second thing is that as my friend told that $20 for rich people, they can give it easily. But it's good if they can give it easily. It can clear the debt of the government of the country. It can help to clear the debt of the country. And even my good friend, she told that, how about the homeless and the prison people? I'm going to say it's 20th century. We have so much beautiful technology. You can take the voting system to the prison. You should apply that voting system to the prison, and the prisoners, they can come and they can vote. And for homeless people, you can either give them an excuse because we know that they cannot vote, or we can, because as he said that you should put some money on marketing or maybe campaign. Why not you provide an online voting system where you can go and you can find people and you can get the vote from them. So apart from this, I would say everyone, being the citizen of any country, it is your duty, it is your responsibility to vote, because it is a good sake for you, because we are the people who are going to benefit from that thing. That's it. Thank you so much.
That's it. All right, cool. All right, now you have 5 minutes to respond back. Okay. All right. That's good, but, all right.
Okay, thank you. They cannot
Nice.
vote.
Okay.
Prisoners here. They cannot.
Anytime, go ahead, it's fine.
First thing I'll mention is that voting is a right, not a duty. So
It's a duty.
No,
it's a right, it's not a duty. And it's in the constitution that you have the right to vote or not to vote. So another thing is, you mentioned about homeless people to take the voting system to themselves and then vote. But the problem with that is there are hundreds and thousands of people who are not aware about politics. And one of the example is this year's election. You said that. That's right. That is true that Trump won because it could be possible because of the no one voted. But the reason no one voted, it wasn't like lazy people. Like there are thousands of hundreds of people working 16 hours, 18 hours a day. They don't have time to do that. And another thing is that they don't have the knowledge. They don't know any of the candidates because they are working all the time, and they don't have the time and the knowledge to be like, I want to vote for him. But in India there is and this is an ongoing issue in India, majorly in Mumbai, that there are people giving money to commoners to vote for them, like giving hundreds of thousands of dollars to people to just give me the vote. You don't have to do anything. I'll give you this much amount of money, and that's wrong because it's corruption. And that is what would happen if you introduce fine. That you will be forcing people to vote, but then there will be parties who would be just like, take this money, you vote for us, and that would be unfair, and it won't be unjust, and people would easily get manipulated into that, and that you don't want to be doing that. And another about the Australian thing, the donkey voters basically are voters who don't care about voting. They are not lazy, but they just don't have they don't know who's the candidates, and they don't know about the candidates. So they are like, why should I vote? Because I don't know any of them. And another thing is, there are countries which you said that have compulsory voting, that everyone should vote. They have a large amount. The main thing is not generating the money from the people. The main thing is getting the voters and to vote to a candidate which is capable of doing the job. And so there are countries where you said there are, Australia, and there are other countries. Yeah, they have a large number of voters, like 82% and like 72%. American has 53.2% of voters who vote of their population. There are volunteering votings in other countries like Sweden, France, and they have large numbers of people voting but that's not because they are involved or nothing, because they have been given there are medias who are like awareness, showing awareness that you should vote because that's your right. And there are, in America, we are very busy about comparing each parties and just talking about terrorists and immigrants, and we are not talking about the main issue about like encouraging our voters to vote. There are people like Ellen DeGeneres trying to, like, in social media, trying to create awareness so people would vote. So we need people more like that instead of introducing a fine which would just be like taking money from the people, which is unfair and would be like,
30 seconds.
yeah, living in dictatorship.
Mm.
So that's just what I would say.
Alright, give me a hand, everybody. Hey, alright. Y'all,
I'm done.
Thank you, my friends.
alright, nice. Okay.
Some points.
So you'll have 2 minutes to summarize and or
Okay.
you can use your 2 minutes however you like, okay?
Okay. So.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, firstly I'll start with, you said that voting is not a duty, it's a right. That's true. I agree upon that, okay? But I don't go with the book. It's all about, because after all human beings, all people, they are going to benefit from that. So don't go with the book. I'm not going to go with the book. It's the reason I'm saying it's your duty, it's your responsibility, because you're going to gain fruits from it. Okay? Secondly, you say no time. You cannot say it's no time, because if all people we start thinking we have no time, then nobody's going to vote. You have to take time. You're not giving your whole day. You're not giving your whole day, okay? And secondly, it's like if you're giving money to vote, there are people who do corruption. You vote, you don't vote. Corruption is going to happen. So if we start thinking that, okay, we are forcing people and that will make a corruption,
No,
that's not a valid point.
it's happening.
It's happening. It will happen. It will happen. That's because parties, the politics, they are meant to do these things. But we cannot stop doing what we want to do just by thinking that this is going to give you a corruption, because unless and until you don't try, it won't happen. Second thing, forcing people to vote. So it's like we all people, it's like a kid, okay? Unless and until you won't tell your kid to do this thing, you don't make a habit, he won't do it. So you have to start making a habit. Then at last he'll start doing the right thing. And the lastly is generating money. Okay, so I would say only one thing. It's better to get out of. It's better to get something out of nothing. People who don't come to vote, it's like you're not gaining any benefit from them. It's better you gain something and then you clear your country's debt.
Okay.
That's it, my friend. Thank
Cool.
you.
It took the whole 2 minutes. There you go. All right. Now for the last closing statements is going to be Ms. V. Lee. All right, give her a warm applause. It's kind of nerve-wracking to get up in front of people. Fantastic. Oh, this is such a nice person. All right. And anytime you want, whenever you start, I'll start. Okay.
Alright.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, the first thing is voting is a iteration in every 4 years, once in a 4-year election. And I would say that there is also no issue that voting is a moral responsibility for everyone, like voter in a democracy. And issue is that, well, voting is a right, every human, but you know, the force to vote, it's not a good choice. And the behavior in voting by behavior in a democracy, people's right is their individual voice, definitely. And it's people arbitration, their personal choice, when and where to go. It's not forcible. By paying, you have to pay and go for vote. And everything like conclusion, those who support the forcing of people to vote, not actually want people to be forced to vote.
and in Americans to be a more active in politics and united, but fail to see that every American thinks and feels different due to now becoming part of an incredibly diverse nation. Okay, and you cannot expect unity in incredible diverse nation. It is better to leave than force unity.
Give me a hand. Hey. Somebody
Let's fight.
Let's
Now it's for the fun. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, first I gotta say, both teams really came prepared with a lot of really thoughtful and specific this is not stuff off the top of your head. You guys have had a lot of interesting, thoughtful
this
remarks
time we don't
today.
have to get prepared because it's like we know.
Yeah, that was something you maybe are slightly familiar with already. Yeah. But like her, I was surprised to hear Argentina and some other countries already have a fine place. Australia does, yeah. Okay, so there's a precedent
But it
for it.
has this,
Yeah.
like 2018, they did a research and it was like they got a hike of 95%.
Yeah, a lot of people voted. Okay.
Yeah, but half of them.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I mean,
It's fine.
Well,
At least by seeing them, the other person will vote. It's okay. See, donkey voting, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Either other people they vote or they don't vote.
Fair
But
enough.
at least, but by seeing the figure, let's say you go on Google, okay, and you search. Oh, you
Yeah,
don't have
yeah. I'm gonna let you. I love that you're passionate about it. Let's let Carol weigh in on this.
Question for you.
All right, excellent, good.
Don't you think that abstinence is part of the democracy?
What?
Abstinence.
Abstinence.
Not voting is part of democracy.
Yes, because I think that you have the right to say and the responsibility to say yes and to say no and also to be quiet.
Cool. That's what you said
And
earlier. Yeah.
how ethical is to vote for someone that I not agree or maybe I am agree
Mhm.
or maybe I don't like any of those,
Mhm.
and how ethical is to and how responsible I have to be
Mhm.
in the case that that person doesn't do your job properly.
Yeah.
Can I answer now?
Yes.
Of course.
Okay. So, let's say you go home, okay, and you go home, you're speaking to your boyfriend, your husband, your kids, okay, and then there's a topic on your budget, okay, and then you all start complaining, hey man, what this government is doing, all bullshit, the gas price is rising. Why? This is all because of we people. Because we people, we chose those government. If we know our rights, if we know our responsibility, you see, it's not about forcing on you. It's making you aware, it's making you learn that, okay, you have to do this. Because after all, it's going to give you a benefit. So if you don't want to be responsible, then stop complaining. Then stop complaining the government. Let it be, okay, fine, I didn't vote you, okay.
Yeah.
You're happy, just
I can't complain. I didn't
yeah.
vote.
If you don't vote, you cannot complain. That's it.
Okay.
yeah, there are many people who don't complain. Who don't vote, don't complain.
Even you vote,
They
probably.
no.
Even you don't
won't
vote, you
complain
complain.
publicly. They won't complain
I'm
publicly.
gonna let her them address her question. Go ahead. Yeah, you can respond now too. Thank you for your thought. Yeah.
Even when people do not vote, or my point was like not force people like voting without knowledge and conscientious,
Being,
like being
Conscious.
being conscientious.
being conscientious of the candidate they are choosing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think? How can you make someone aware of voting? Because this is not like the voting has not started last year. It's been running for decades. The voting. If there was some some solution, it would have been done. But ultimately, that idiom. I don't know exactly what to say. If in Hindi, in my language, it's an idiom.
You can put an option like no vote. Like Bangladesh, they start like long back actually, but they stop it. That if you don't like any candidate, Just put there, there's a no.
Yeah.
no vote.
You're actually voting nobody.
Yeah,
That's a
nobody.
pretty good solution. That's a pretty good solution. But
I don't like this because
But
both of,
here,
like,
yeah,
both of
but
them
here,
are like.
here the
yeah,
topic is you should pay a fine. Okay?
Yeah,
you should pay a fine. But why? If you pay a fine and people will definitely okay, people will go and people
Yes.
fine. Okay, we are paying 20,
Today-
$40 anyhow each person. Okay, they are taking, and after that, how anyone
Yeah,
knows
and-
that even the how they are going to elect, because that's not their choice, without mood or something like that, they go and what they will choose. That's
okay.
not fair
So
enough.
how do you basically, when you start learning English and alphabet, how do you learn? Until and unless you don't take an initiative, you won't learn. You start with A, then you go till Z, right? So it's the same thing.
I mean,
If you don't-
He's helping us.
No, if you don't force people to vote, okay? I understand. For the first time they'll do a random voting.
Right.
Even second time they'll do a random voting, but third time they'll come to know. They'll understand.
I think your point is to say if we force them to vote,
Yeah.
they'll be
But at
trained to
least-
be better
Yeah,
citizens.
yeah, we are
Okay.
training him that okay, voting is.
But I totally oppose about paying and forcing.
Paying is good thing.
Paying and forcing to
Because
tell
without
the
paying-
each people to go and vote.
Without taking-
I totally disagree.
Without taking
No.
something from you,
No.
without
Okay.
taking something
I've
from
got a
you.
question for you.
Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna,
Okay,
yeah,
I'll
you
get
wrote,
back.
no, Mr. Hassan is
Yeah,
waiting
yeah.
for, go ahead, sir, I'm gonna let you ask the question to
Actually,
somebody.
I don't have a question, but I wanna tell my opinion.
Okay, good, yeah.
Voting is the best right given to the community to the people.
Mhm.
So if someone, because if someone does not vote, they don't think their future and their country's future also.
Yes.
Because I know a lot of people fought to get that right from the some monarchic
Monarch.
yeah, monarch system.
Yeah.
So and I don't think I don't have a time cannot be excuse to don't vote. So, but this is the only way to protest the two sides. I mean, right and left part of
Yeah.
Liberal and
Yeah.
conservative, yeah.
yeah. This is just one the one way to protest them, both of them.
The only way to protest is by voting.
Yeah,
So
like
you-
don't vote both of them is the only way. But
Okay.
I more support the voting is
These guys.
more important.
Fair enough.
I do agree on the one point that it's all about the future. If you really do think about your future and your country's future, you should vote.
Okay, I'm gonna let anybody over here address kind of what he was just saying, then I'll let you weigh in, okay? Okay, yeah, so we'll move on to your topic. Go, anybody wanna weigh in?
Not mention about the pay. You have to pay and voting is important, but
Right.
possible to pay is not.
Like,
It's
it was-
not.
Actually,
Nobody's forcing you.
if you want to attract the people,
It's compulsory.
The law.
Yeah.
If you parking in a no authorized place, government is forcing you to pay a fee.
Yeah.
No, it's your obligation, it's your responsibility.
And
okay, how about
That was
how about
an example.
how about the
I was
traffic ticket?
that was a,
Yeah.
How about the
I'll
traffic
find
ticket?
out.
Hold on, I can
Okay.
I can.
All right,
answer.
let's just let's just hear a response over here. Yeah.
It's for the public safety. It's not for you.
it's like.
It's categorically
Even
different.
this is
Okay.
for your future safety.
Same thing. Yeah.
This is your future safety.
Okay,
This is-
okay.
This is your future safety.
Let
This
him
is your
complete.
child future safety.
It's-
This is
it's,
your parents' future safety.
I love that you're so passionate, but fair enough. No, I fear you say your point is it's a category mistake. It's to make that analogy. I think Carol, you were one to ask something now. Go ahead, your turn. Yeah.
I want to address that you didn't answer my question.
Mm.
I'm going to answer myself. I think the abstain is part of the democracy.
Yeah.
And also, every time we have to think, how can we force people to do something in order to a common benefit or everything? But
okay.
how about if we have benefits if we vote? This encourage people to vote
Yes, you can do. You know it.
and don't force it, because this, where it's going to happen is that the vote is a right we have in order to express ourselves, if we like or don't like a government or something.
Mhm.
But if we don't feel like agree or we are in the side of some candidate, we have the option to don't vote.
To not vote, yeah.
Even there is every
It's
choice
fair,
has its own
you know.
consequences. So as you said, if we give a benefit, we can give a benefit. I had that point in my mind, and it was for homeless people. We can give them a benefit, and they for sure will come. But one more thing. One more
Okay.
thing. Let's say if you give a benefit, but that is going to put more debt on the government. But gaining something from people instead of, because it's like it's their right to do it, and it's the responsibility for every citizen to vote. So if we gain something from them, in spite of giving them a benefit, that would benefit the country.
Okay.
Yes, and with that part, I think prisoners can vote, and also homeless, you have to have
House.
A place.
Oh, you have to
place.
residence, yeah.
They can vote if they, but it's not easy, you know?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
they have to have, sometimes shelters
Permanent
are
address,
the
right? Yeah, you
permanent
need-
residence.
But taking
But-
that point into consideration,
Okay.
I would like to match his words. What he said is like, we do, like there are many people who do donkey voting, right? So you give benefit and they do donkey voting. So who's benefiting? Nobody's
I'll
benefiting.
let you guys address what she was saying.
The main point of like finding them is to increase the voters, right? You agree with that? But there could be an alternate option with you can create awareness about voting instead of fining them and taking away their own money which they earned, and they are paying taxes to you as well. So basically you are saying that you take their rights, you take their money, and you're forcing them to vote. That means you basically are creating a dictatorship in the country. The
No, we
main
are not
is-
creating a dictatorship.
No.
We are doing a benefit for themselves. For
Just,
them.
just so that her idea was completely clear. I mean, not voting is also a way of expressing
And
yourself,
when,
and that's kind of what
for
she was
example,
expressing earlier.
in Colombia happens, the absence.
Abstentive.
Absent.
Those who abstain, from
Okay,
voting.
when they are too many, there is a problem too. You can see something when the absence, whatever is pronounced, is big, you know. And the thing is the intention when you are obligated to do something because you have to pay, and if you don't vote,
Mhm.
your intention, maybe you have the two options. Maybe you can create conscience in the people, or you can disturb the intention of vote because you are doing it for obligation.
But in
ahead.
one article I read that they have a survey that in United States, well, they have a green card holders, but few countries are not allowed to vote.
Okay.
So this is the, you know.
No, immigrants is a different story.
Okay.
Immigrants is a different story.
Yeah, but in some countries they don't allow. So
Marley,
I would like to finish the debate.
we have-
Marley's gonna weigh in here. Good. Marley has the floor.
Yeah, thank you. I'm
Good.
going to finish the debate with a definition.
Mm.
What is the definition of democracy?
Mm.
Okay, remember that. A system of government by the whole population or all the eligible members of a state, typically through elected representative. You understand? If the democracy is made when the whole population or the elected people choose
So it's
their-
like when
This
we
is
all
all the-
people join hand to hand,
Yeah.
then a democracy is formed.
I know.
So if like
Yeah.
if like you three people and we three people we have hand to hand and there's two people they're not hand to hand, then the democracy get disturbed.
Thank you.
Fair enough.
Yeah, definitely, but
If
the
you're
end
gonna
of it
force
like
them,
that,
it's
that
gonna
is not
disturb as well.
forcible to vote with by paying
If you're gonna
Yeah,
force
you-
them, they're gonna
that's
be
it.
protests,
Mhm.
right?
Good point.
Even now there is a protesting, right?
No, there
Yeah,
are
there are.
to increase voters.
Come on, see the news,
No,
bro.
no, no.
There are
Each and every day.
There's no
Everyone is
protest.
protesting,
They are
Mr. Donald
protesting,
Trump.
yeah,
I know.
right. No, they are protesting against the president. They are not protesting against.
But who elected that president?
I mean,
Yeah.
It's not fair enough to vote or like that.
It's
but
all
the
about
president,
vote. It's all
they
about
are no, they are
Fair point, fair enough.
That's going to win.
Yeah, thank you everybody for being here. By the way, I don't think prisoners are eligible to vote
Yeah.
anyway.
No,
They're not eligible
He
anyway.
said that prisoners are
Definitely.
allowed. I said, why do you let them vote?
No, they're not allowed to vote. Okay, thank you everybody, appreciate it. I'll send you the link. Really great, energetic discussion.
Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, you got the surveys. I'll make them available to people later on. Cool. Oh, that's the leftovers or something?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, guys, have a good one. Like I said, you don't have to. We don't have anything else to do tomorrow or anything like that.
No.
If you come to Chris's class, I'll count you present for my class too. Okay? That's how it'll work. Okay? Yeah. At least it is. Yeah.
Jeremy, didn't you find a pen yesterday? Like,
Yeah. I mean, like this.
thank you. Thank you, Paul. Ay, lo amo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, see you
Okay.
tomorrow.
All right. Have a good one. I'll send you the link later.